Hi, Dad. So here we are again. We're doing part two of your story, your life story. So last week we sort of chatted about where you were born, Welling Garden City, growing up in the war. But I do think we might have missed a few things. So if we go over a few things, like tell me a bit more about Nan and Granddad. Where did they come from? Where did they meet? How old? And when did they marry and stuff like that? So yeah, so if you tell me, maybe start with that, and we go from there.
Yeah, well, I'll start off with my father's side,
Yeah.
which is what we used to call him a nan and
And
Bob.
what was his name?
But granddad's name,
Your dad's name?
oh, Cliff.
Cliff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cliff Punter.
Cliff Punter.
Yeah,
Okay.
and his father died when he was about, I think he was about 12,
Well, that's
and
sad.
his mother remarried. Um, and then he met. Apparently, my dad met my mum. My mother had come down from Durham.
Yeah.
Where
And
she
what was
lived.
Grandma's name?
Ivy. I'm trying to think of my grandmother, but you're not talking about.
Yeah. What was your mum's name? Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
confusing. Yeah.
My mum's name was Ivy
Ivy.
Holmes,
Yes.
from
Right.
Durham. She came
Yeah.
down from Durham to look after a young girl, apparently, in Watford
Yeah.
at the age of 14.
Mm.
Now, in them days, a lot of these young girls used to come down and become like looking after children and things like that.
Yeah.
Whereas all the boys used to go into the coal mines. There wasn't any work up there for girls. All the boys at 14 used to go down the coal mines, basically.
Oh God.
Yeah, all my cousins and uncles and that were all coal miners.
Yeah.
But the girls used to come down south for work,
Yeah.
and normally working in, people's houses. And my mother came down to look after a young girl or something, beer.
Yeah.
And funny enough, their parents, the little girl's parents, used to also take my mum on holiday with them. When they went on
Oh.
holiday, they took her as well,
That's nice.
which was quite nice.
Ah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So with your dad, so when did your mum and dad actually meet?
Yeah, they met in Watford. Apparently, my mother met my dad in the street somewhere.
Mm.
Apparently, he was lying drunk, trying to balance on a beer bottle.
Yeah. So this sort of thing runs in the family, Dad. It was carried on through, I think. So
Must be,
yeah,
yeah.
I'm going to try that trick, I think.
Yeah,
Okay, so that's how they met. And what,
Yeah.
in Watford?
yeah.
You
They
say?
met in Watford. Because she'd come down from Durham
Yeah.
to look after this girl and got I suppose live in sort of thing in there.
And where was your dad living then?
He was living with his mum
With his mum?
and his stepfather.
And they had obviously brothers and sisters?
He had one sister called Vera.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And your mum?
a bit younger.
How many brothers and
Oh,
sisters?
my mum had, I think it was 4 brothers and
Yeah.
1 sister.
Okay.
Auntie Bella used to come down quite regularly and stay with us on holidays.
Yeah. So they met and they started dating, I guess, and stuff. And then when was it? How long were they dating before they decided this is it? This is
Yeah, well, apparently they went into lodgings first in Watford,
yeah.
and then there was houses going. They were building houses in Welling Garden City, but to move to Welling Garden City, you actually had to pay quite a hefty
Right.
fee. And I think they borrowed the money from my dad's side of the family somewhere,
Yeah.
so they could move into Welling Garden City. But you couldn't move into Welling Garden City unless you paid, I don't know what it was now, a couple of £100, which was a lot of money in
Wow.
them days.
Yeah.
And my father, being from quite a wealthy sort of family, I think,
Yeah.
they paid for them to come into Welling Garden City.
Right. So with your dad, what was he? What sort of jobs did he do?
Well, when we first moved to Welling Garden City, he was a chef on the railways, on the Flying Scotsman.
Yeah. That's
Before-
good.
Yeah. He was
And-
a chef on the. They used to cook the meals actually on the trains at that time,
Yeah.
on the Flying Scotsman and
Wow.
things like that. And then when he, after being a chef, he came out and joined the fire brigade.
Yeah. What made him go into that? Do you think?
Just something he fancied doing, I think, for change. Thought it was more exciting for him.
Yeah.
And fortunately, in some ways, it's a good job it was, because that was just before the war, and then any single man, if they weren't in something like the fire brigade or the police, had to go into the forces.
Right.
Obviously, mainly the army.
Yeah.
But because he was in the fire brigade, he stayed locally.
Right. Yeah.
As a fireman.
I think. Did you say about? I don't think on the first one. I think it might have been after when we stopped filming that you were saying about you used to get the bells in the house that are alerting for that he's got to get out.
Yeah,
and,
that's right. Every
there
time,
might be a fire.
the siren used to go off on the fire station, but also we had huge, great bells on the stairs.
Yeah.
And they used to make a hell of a noise when they went off, and sometimes it might be 2 or 3 in the morning to wake us all up.
Yeah.
Because they used to press these bells, and he used to run out, get his clothes on as quickly as he can, jump on his bike and pedal up to the fire station.
Yeah. Right. So anyway, right. So we know that. Yeah. So they met in Watford, and then sort of. I guess what they were dating for a couple of years. Did you say?
I'm not sure how long it was for. Probably.
And then so they got married. They married in where was it?
Yeah, not in Oxley, which is near Watford.
Yeah. Yes.
Oxley Church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they got married, and then
they got married on just after their 21st birthday. Both of them.
Right.
They're both 21, same age, with only a few months between them.
That's nice.
They got married, just after my mum's.
So then
21st birthday.
And the first house they had moved into, was it by the Mount?
Well, they went to lodgings first, and then they went into by the Mount in Garden City. Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's where obviously. So I think we're up to, and then obviously, Joan was the first.
Yeah, I did say. I can't remember the last time. I might have said that I was born in Garden City, but in actual fact, I was actually born in Barnet Hospital.
Ah, right, yeah.
Barnet Maternity Hospital.
Yeah. Okay, right. So, I think we've covered pretty much that sort of thing. Going back to when you were as a child, what sort of, and growing up in the war as well, it must have been quite scary. But what sort of games and stuff like that would you play, and sort of with your friends? Did you have regular friends you used to hang out with?
Well, it was in the cul-de-sac, which by the Mount was cul-de-sac, and of course we're very, very close-knit. All the kids used to just play out in the street.
Yeah.
Play games out in the street, and hide and seek and all sorts of things like that, hopscotch, all that sort of thing. We used to play out in the street.
And what about sort of stuff that, I think it's followed generations, scrumping and stuff like that? Did you get into that sort of thing?
Yeah, scrumping was a big thing actually, and I think the odd thing is we could go round to these posh, which we used to sometimes, go around these posh houses over Parkway, where we had these big houses. We could knock on the door and simply say, "Have you got any apples?" and they'd give them.
Yeah.
But we used to like scrumping.
Yeah.
And I think we enjoyed the case of being chased.
Yeah.
There's a big old cottage in Woodrow Lane, and me and my friend Dick, Dick Johnson, used to scrump, and this man would come running out, and we'd go running off down into the woods, into the gravel pits.
Oh yeah.
And he was chasing after us.
Yeah.
I think we got a lot of thrill out of just being chased.
Yeah. Well, so Dick's the one who you ended up being in a band with as well, isn't he?
Yeah, Dick Johnson. Yeah, he'd become a very close friend. He died quite a few years ago.
Yeah.
Now, yeah.
So you done scrumping. It's nice to know that we sort of, even childhood growing up now. I don't know if kids do scrumping and hopscotch anymore. Michelle's over in the corner saying no, they don't. So there you go. So all right. So then, growing up. So who were your friends? You had regular friends growing up that you used to hang out with then.
Yeah.
So it was Dick.
Chap called Alan.
Yeah.
He was a very close friend. We used to hang about with this Alan.
Getting up to mischief. So anyway, right. So after sort of you got into your teens and stuff, and let's say so you went through school and you done your education went well.
Yeah, went to school. Left school at 15. Just before that, used to leave school at 14, but they just changed it to 15 by the time I had to leave school. They changed it to 15.
I bet that frustrated you a bit, didn't it?
Well,
to another year.
Actually, quite liked school.
Did you?
I didn't really want to leave. I was a little bit nervous about starting work, and quite honestly, I'd have liked to. You were allowed to stay on, and I'd have liked to have stayed on, but my mum wouldn't let me.
Right.
She wanted the money.
So you left school, and what was your first job, and where? And
Yeah, our first job was at Marconi's in St Albans.
yeah.
I used to have to cycle there from home because obviously couldn't afford a bus.
So hang on. So that is from Welwyn Garden to St Albans. It
It's
must
about
be.
9 miles.
Is it 9 miles?
Yeah.
God, that's a bit of a way. 18 miles there.
Yeah, on a bike.
Yeah.
So I used to have to get up at 7 because I started work at 8. I
Yeah.
had to get off at 7, and it's all right in the summer, but it wasn't too
Yeah,
in the winter
I bet.
sometimes.
And where was that? Did you say?
Marconi Instruments in St Albans.
And what was your apprenticeship? What were you learning there? Being trained as?
Well, I didn't do an apprenticeship at Marconi, so when I
Oh.
got to 16,
Yeah.
they wouldn't take me on. They had so many people.
Yeah.
They only picked out, I think, what they considered the best. So, but I could have carried on as what they call a trainee,
Mm.
but it was an apprenticeship. So I wanted an apprenticeship, so I had to work with my dad,
Mm.
and he got me to Arrow Engineering in Welwyn City,
Right.
because there I could do an apprenticeship, which
Yeah.
is really what I wanted to do. Because at that time Harry was doing an apprenticeship in de Havilland, and I really wanted an apprenticeship, engineering apprenticeship as well.
Right. Along the same lines as
Along the same
Harry.
lines, yeah.
Oh right. So you had that, and then from once you got your apprenticeship, where did you stay at Arrow?
Well,
Or-
when I got my apprenticeship, that was from 16 to 21,
yeah.
and then literally the minute you're 21, you had to go into the forces.
Right.
Literally, I think it was a couple of days after my 21st birthday, because I got normally it went in at 18,
Yeah.
but because I had an apprenticeship, I went in 21.
Right.
So literally a couple of days after I was 21, I was called up
So
into the army.
so what? They gave you 2 days to get over your hangover of your
Well,
21st.
basically, yeah.
Oh God. So you were in the army for what? 2 years?
2 years, yeah.
2 years, and then so coming out the army, and then where did you go to then?
Coming out of the army, I went back to Arrows for a little while,
Yeah.
a short while. I went back to Arrows, and then there was this advert in the paper, Polypenko, just started up. It was a
Yeah.
new American company. There was only about 8 there at the time. They advertised they wanted mechanical engineers.
Yeah.
So I applied and got the job at Polypenko.
So because obviously since when you were at Polypenko, how many years in the end?
Well, I ended up being there quite a few years. I went there as a mechanical engineer, setting up capstan lathes.
Mm.
But what I used to do is set them up and then put an operator on them, somebody less skilled.
Yeah.
So I used to set these machines up, got them running, then I put somebody else on to run them. And then I just go on to another machine and set that up.
Okay.
But I was given a drawing and what they wanted made on that, obviously everything was different.
Yeah.
So I was working to a blueprint, set up these machines. Once I got them running, then I put an operator on them.
Mhm.
So I was a machine setter.
Right. Yeah. So and you did stay at Polypenko even when I was a kid. You retired at Polypenko as well. So you've been there, God knows how many years, Dad.
But not doing the same job though.
But no. But
And oddly enough, Uncle John went there as well.
yeah.
But Brother John, because I was at Polypenko, he got a job at Polypenko as well as as an operator. He was in the more of the production side of it.
Okay.
But he worked there as well. Fun enough, it seemed to me that where I went, John went as well. We was always close together. He was in a different department, but John was working there as well
Yeah.
at Polypenko.
So, right, okay, so we've got that. So, you've come out the army and stuff, and then when and how did all form in the Ravens? Oh, let me show you the pictures here, actually. So the dad's gonna disappear for a minute. So there's my dad, there's Dick, there's Pete Lincoln on the drums, Uncle John, and there's Eddie Devine.
John Devine.
John Devine.
Yeah.
Yeah, John Devine. Look, good looking lads, look at them.
He's the only one that's still alive. He lives down in Devon.
Okay, look, handsome man, Dad. There's Uncle John. And then let's have another look. Look at this proper. Look at that, rocking out there.
That one you're looking at now, is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was taken at the Parkway Restaurant
Ah,
at
right.
a dinner dance, and we was the cabaret. That one.
There you
So
go.
that's slightly different. That was one of the
Yeah.
first photos we ever taken of us.
So
because Pete Cawthorpe was one of the singers there.
yeah,
Dropped out of the band.
there you go. Look, taken September the 4th, 1957.
Yeah.
There you go. So
Yeah, that one was taken at the Parkway Restaurant. We was the cabaret for the dinner and dance for, I think it was Murphy Radio.
I hope they paid you well for that as well. What sort of covers did you play in the skiffle band?
It was all Lonnie Donegan songs.
Yeah.
That's all that people wanted. And that was really this. I mean, Lonnie Donegan started off as a jazz band. And in them days, jazz was all the, what they call traditional jazz was all the go.
Yeah.
There's jazz clubs all over the place.
Right.
There's one at the Cherry Tree that I used to go to.
Cherry Tree Pub in Welling, yeah.
Yeah, that was a Cherry Tree Jazz Club.
Yeah.
And Johnny Donegan broke away from the jazz club and started a skiffle group.
Yeah.
And he made a number one hit what was it called, Rock Island Line.
Mm-hmm.
That became a number one hit. And after that, skiffle groups sprung up all over the country.
I think they had, with skiffle, it was only around for about 2 years, wasn't it?
Yeah, it didn't last long.
And then it moved on to rock and roll. So how long was your band, how long were you playing for and stuff?
I think probably about a year. That was all because then me and John was called into the forces, into the army. So the band broke up anyway. But skiffle groups were gradually fading out.
Oh,
anyway.
I thought you formed a band after you come out the army. So you formed it before.
No, we didn't. Not when we come out. We didn't. No.
Oh right, okay. So once you come out, and that was it pretty much.
Well, because when we came out, when me and John came out, the rest of the band actually they were still in the army. They'd gone in as regulars.
Right, there's Fizzy.
So there's only me and John there. And then that time, because we got involved in girlfriend and whatnot.
Yeah,
now.
women always get in the way there, don't they?
They got in the way. I mean, John.
They ruining our fun. I don't know how they do it. Yeah, so them pictures are great. It's such a shame, Dad, you haven't got, because I would have loved to have heard your stuff and
yeah, unfortunately, we did record them on a tape recorder. We also got a tape recorder, but unfortunately, I don't know what happened to those. My mother.
Can you imagine finding them now and managing to get them onto sort of CD?
Yeah, I mean, we should rehearse on recording.
Yeah.
On this, it belonged to Harry actually. He had this Grundig reel-to-reel tape recorder.
Yeah.
And we used to also record it to see what we sounded like.
Yeah.
You know, as rehearsals.
I mean, I've heard Uncle John singing. And I've heard
John was always singing and whistling.
Yeah. And I've heard, obviously, your guitar playing as I was growing up, and your harmonica, which is absolutely very famous with everyone now. Everyone wants you to get your harmonica out these days, don't they?
Yeah.
So that all ended, and then, I don't know, so what about sort of, and I've never actually asked this before, so what about sort of girlfriends? I know obviously you met Mum at some point, but girlfriends and stuff like that before?
No, I didn't have any girlfriends actually.
Didn't you?
No.
Did John have all
really.
the girlfriends? It's always the singer,
John.
Dad, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's always the singer who gets the women. It's never the singer. It's never the guitarist or the drummer. I've noticed that.
But then, fun enough, when we was playing in that pub, a couple of girls that used to look through the window at us. We gave them name addresses. And fun enough, when I was in the army, I used to get letters from one of these girls.
Did you?
And John used to get letters from her sister, the other
Yeah.
one. But they weren't really girlfriends.
No, they're fans.
Yeah.
Fans, groupies, I think we call them now, don't we?
Yeah, they weren't really girlfriends.
So, anyway, all right, so...
I wasn't really interested in girls, actually,
So what did you, like, other than the band, did you used to sort of go out to pubs and stuff like that?
No, we used to go to youth clubs.
Yeah.
Actually, we went to Petrie Boys Club and also the Hyde.
Even as
club.
adults?
Well...
Sort of in your 20s?
Oh, no. After coming out of the forces.
Yeah.
I wasn't out of the forces all that long when I got married, actually.
Oh, really?
I met your mum. I came out of the army, went back to Arrows.
Yeah.
And that's where I met your mum. She was working at Arrows.
Okay.
I'd only been out of the army a couple of months again when I met her.
So how old was she when you met Mum then? So you what?
So I must have been 23. She was she's about a year younger than me, I think.
Yeah, she's
18 months old. 18 months
about
older,
3
something
years,
like that.
3 years younger, I think.
Yeah, I met her at work.
Right. Okay, and obviously, like, we won't go into the whole details with mum and stuff, but like, obviously, there was a few problems which you used to buy her for and stuff.
What, your mum?
Yeah.
Mean, which is my wife you're talking
Yeah.
about? Yeah.
Ruth, yeah.
Yeah.
But obviously, like, used to buy her through some hard times, really, with mum. And so you settled with mum, and where was you? So you started dating. How long was you dating mum for then?
Not all that long actually. Probably about 6 months. That's all.
Right, and then what? So you found somewhere to live together, and
yeah, we started off living with your mum's mum. Ruth's mum. Because she's living on her own anyway.
And was that in
Welling?
In Moran Avenue.
Moran Avenue, yeah.
Yeah.
We lived there for about a year.
Right.
And we was on the council list, and then of course the council list offers us a house in Thistle Grove.
Yeah.
Lucky enough, in them days, you go into a council list, and within a year you used to get somewhere.
Yeah.
It's not like that now.
And then
we was given a house, a lovely I can't believe it because we had no children, I think, but we were given a 3-bedroom house.
Yeah.
In Thistle Grove.
Which is near where Steve lives in Little Thistle now, which is a bit strange. So.
And then I got an exchange actually, because my brother John lived in Ladygrove.
Yeah.
And somehow we always wanted to be together. And I managed to do an exchange with one of John's neighbours in Ladygrove. We did exchange, so I was actually only 3 or 4 doors away from John.
Yeah, I think, it was, well, we were 48 and he was 34, I think.
34, something like that, yeah.
But before that exchange, Steve and Lorraine were born in Thistle Grove, weren't they?
Yeah.
So you had Steve and Lorraine. Were they born in the house or down at the QE2 hospital?
They were both born actually in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they must have been, when you moved to Ladygrove, they were still toddlers,
quite
weren't
they? Yeah, quite small.
And
before you was born.
With
you
Stephen
was born in Ladygrove.
Yeah. Well, in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Stephen and Lorraine, old enough, were born in the bedroom in Thistle Grove.
Because
so she didn't go to hospital for any other children.
Because Steve and Lorraine, there's only a year apart, and then I think Steve's 5 years older than me. I think, isn't he? So, yeah, so you've sort of moved to Welling Garden, to Ladygrove.
Yeah.
And in that time, so what sort of things, I don't know, did you and Mum sort of, what were your sort of things you used to do between you, like maybe where did you used to take us out and stuff, or what sort of things did you sort of
do? We used to go camping quite a bit.
You were saying about camping. Where did all this start? Because we used to have loads of camping trips as kids, didn't we?
Yeah.
But so did you as a kid? Were you into camping? And
well, yeah, because I was into camping at a very young age, because I was in the boys' brigade, and we used to go camping once a year.
So you were in boys' brigade as well.
That's where we camped.
Right.
They used to. They had all the very old, heavy army tents left over from the war, and the boys' brigade brought up some of those tents, about half a dozen or so of those. So we used to go on these big, huge, heavy bell tents.
Yeah.
We used to go camping. But then when I got married, we used to go camping as well.
And did Mum like camping? Or
she wasn't over the moon about it. No, she wasn't too keen on it.
A cheap way to do it though.
Yeah.
We like camping now, but I don't think
I don't think Steve was that keen on camping either.
No.
He used to suffer from hay fever, and I think that used to irritate him a bit.
Yeah. We used to have some good holidays like that.
Yeah.
I think. So yeah, so you enjoyed camping as a kid growing up and stuff, and I guess that's why it sort of followed you through, and it is good fun. Did you used to like going back to sort of growing up? Was like Cuffley Camp and stuff like that around back then?
Yeah, Cuffley Camp was going. Yeah.
So did you ever do that?
It wasn't going when I was young, no, but it was when Steve and Lorraine.
Yeah.
I think Lorraine went to Cuffley Camp.
I did. Yeah.
I'm sure she did.
I done Cuffley Camp. I loved it, and they were in the big old canvas tents and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
So
because I remember Lorraine coming home from Cuffley Camp, and I couldn't believe it. She was absolutely filthy. I don't think she hadn't washed once while she was away. I couldn't believe she came home absolutely filthy.
She's gonna kill you for this. She's gonna kill you for this. But this is just allegedly, Lorraine. So you know, don't take it to heart. But I think all kids actually used to come back dirty. I remember. I think even I did. No, well, you didn't want to go and have a wash or anything, or I didn't. I just wanted to go and enjoy myself and stuff.
Oddly enough, in the boys' club when we used to go camping, they were very strict on that. It was really strict.
Yeah, saying about this, right? Boys' brigade. So you were in the boys' brigade. Uncle John. Who else was in the boys' brigade?
And Uncle Harry.
Uncle John was in it.
Yeah.
Because Uncle Harry went on to lead the boys' brigade.
Yeah, he became an officer. Yeah.
Which I did. Obviously, I went to it. I
and Stephen went as well.
I don't think I really enjoyed it that much.
No,
I tried my hardest.
I don't think Stephen went for very long.
But it was quite nice that Uncle Harry was the leader, but he didn't get me any further. I didn't get any badges for him being my uncle or something. But so yeah. And what about the girls? Did they go to did they have brownies and stuff like that?
They did, but none of the girls went to anything like that.
They weren't interested. No.
No.
Yeah.
I'm sure they didn't.
All right. So we're up to yeah. So we know where you sort of you worked. You've met Mum. And obviously you were still at Polypenco and stuff. And was Mum?
Well, I met your Mum at Arrows.
Yeah. So once she had kids, obviously she gave up work to look after.
Yeah, but I left Arrows shortly after that and got a job at Polypenco. And your Mum was still at Arrows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Until what, kids, or was she still part time then? Was she must have looked after us lot at that time. Once we were around, was she working at all?
Oh no! In them days, once you become pregnant, you packed up work.
Yeah.
So she didn't work when she had Stephen.
Yeah.
She stayed at home.
And what about with Grandma? Because obviously, how old was she when your dad died? Granddad? How old was you?
When my dad died.
Yeah, when your dad died, you weren't that old, was you really? I think you might have said last time.
No, my dad died. I think I must have been in my 20s.
So he was 49, weren't he? Was he 49?
49, kind of 50, something like that, yeah.
So, yeah, I forgot what I was going to say there, but
because I was married then.
So, did Mum ever meet your dad?
Yeah.
She did?
Yeah.
Right. And how did she get on with...
Only Dad, well, put it this way, she met him, but he was seriously ill.
Yeah.
At that time, so, I mean, I think when she came to meet him, he was on the settee.
And what about Grandma, your mum? How did Mum get on with her?
Oh, she got on fine with her, yeah.
So anyway, so she was running house. You were working at Polypenco. So if you wanted a night out, where would you both go, and who would maybe do the babysitting?
Well, me and your mum wanted to go out. Fun enough, my mum used to come round and babysit.
Right.
Which was quite good. She was good at that.
So was she still living in By the Mount then, or she had moved?
No, Mill Green Road.
Mill Green Road. I remember you saying last time. So
and she used to come out and babysit for us.
Yeah.
But having this way though, she didn't really like him. She wanted us to get back by 11 if we could.
Yeah.
So.
What would happen if you got back
a lot of the time it was only down the hospital club anyway.
So you've never been a big drinker, or was you a big drinker, Dad, when you were growing up? No? I mean, look, you've got a pint of bitter there. I don't think I've seen you take one sip yet. But,
well, I mean, when we was in the skiffle group, of course, people kept buying us drinks, but we just couldn't cope with them.
Yeah.
I remember coming home once.
Yeah.
Been drinking in the minibus.
Yeah.
The minibus used to come and pick us up sometimes, or sometimes my brother Harry would take us there, but he was our, what they call it, roadie really, I suppose. We call Harry my roadie.
Yeah.
But yeah. But some of the times they used to pick us up on the minibus. I remember drinking so much I had to stop the bus. I got out on the road and spewed my guts out.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
Oh God, I can't imagine you being like that.
Yeah, just stopped the bus quickly. I got up and vomited all over on the grass.
What about John? Was he a bit of a drinker as well? Who was the worst drinker in the band?
John wasn't that much a drinker because he was so busy singing he hadn't got time to drink.
Yeah. Who was the worst one? I bet it was Pete Lincoln.
For drinking?
Yeah. It's always a drummer, I think, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. People think it was a bit different because he was married anyway. He was much older than us. He was married.
Right.
And no, I don't think. I don't think he drank in excess.
Obviously, Mum never saw the Ravens play then, did she? It was long past. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. We never picked up. John Devine wanted to pick up again when we came out, but by that time we'd got ourselves girlfriends. We'd literally moved on. Well, John didn't want to.
Same where did you and Mum? So if you did go out, where did you go? It was in Welwyn Garden City that you would go out for.
Well, she used to work down the hospital in the evening, so it's the hospital social club we used to go to.
Yeah. And
also the Hyde Social Club.
Yeah.
We used to go to.
Sadly, that's knocked down now, and the QE2 Social Club.
Well, the Hyde Social Club originally, like before I met my mum, actually was a big old house.
Right.
A big old-fashioned house.
Yeah.
They pulled that down and built like a flat roof Hyde Club, and that later on got pulled down as well.
Right. So that's sort of where you went. So so we're up to about half hour now. So next time, I think we'll sort of move on to sort of some, I don't know, quite sort of hard conversations. I think the chats we're going to have with other things. So we'll wait to the next one. So we'll keep them to about half hour, Dad. Do you want to say cheers to everyone with your drink? And
cheers.
So yeah.
Cheers, I remember it well.
We've got Michelle and Anne here as
Michelle.
well. So
the audience.
That's the audience. Yeah. An audience with Norman Punter. So
that's a good idea.
I see. We'll catch you all on part 3. So thanks a lot, Dad. Take care.
Cheers.